Hey guys, it's Michael from Devoted to Vinyl, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how Taylor Swift is kind of the queen of vinyl records right now. Now, I recently came across this New York Times article that talked about Taylor Swift releasing albums in multiple variant colors on vinyl. So I figured I'd read some of this article, give you some of my feedback, we can kind of dissect it together, and then I'll turn it over to you to get your particular thoughts. Okay, so this New York Times article was published just a few weeks ago. It is titled, "Taylor Swift Sells a Rainbow of Vinyl Albums. Fans Keep Buying Them." So I'm going to skip around a little bit. I won't read the entire article. I will link it down in the description if you're interested in reading it for yourself. But let's dig a little bit into this and then let's talk about it. So it begins, when Taylor Swift released 9 vinyl editions of her album Folklore in 2020, Tyler Hammers, a fan in Florida, took notice. But it wasn't until Midnights 2 years later, Midnights is apparently the album title, but it wasn't until Midnights 2 years later that he became a true collector, scouring the internet and retail shops for every variation of her albums he could find, spending about $1,000 in the process, and cataloging the Technicolor expanse of Swift's LP output in an online discography. "I get enjoyment out of being a completionist," Hammers 24 said in a recent interview. He's not the only one. Although streaming remains the dominant music format, physical media has been growing niche where the industry can cater to so-called superfans, who express their dedication to artists by shelling out big bucks for collectible versions of new releases, sometimes in multiple quantities. K-pop acts like BTS pioneered this strategy by putting out an array of elaborate CD packages, often featuring goodies like postcards and photo booklets. Now, this is interesting because I don't regularly listen to K-pop, but I have sort of explored the world of that. And the one thing I will say that I did notice and was impressed by was the fact that CDs are not only popular in other countries and they're still being sold relatively regularly, all things considered. But in the case of a K-pop act like BTS, they will, as this article says, release very elaborate sets. And in them you can get posters and all types of little memorabilia and things like that that fans can enjoy. So as much as people say that physical media is dying, declining, it's not what it used to be, it is interesting that you have younger artists in very pop-friendly genres of music that are really doing a great job at keeping the hobby alive. So let's go on a little bit. But nobody does it quite like Swift, or at least at the same scale. Last year, she sold 3.5 million LPs in the United States, thanks in part to 5 pastel-hued variants of 1989 Taylor's Version, a re-recording of her 2014 album, and the popularity of Swift's entire catalog during her record-breaking Eras tour. I mean, that's really impressive. I mean, you can't deny the numbers. I think it'll be interesting, and I think it's something we all kind of understand, that Taylor Swift, artists like Adele, are doing a really good job at not only selling albums, but bringing in new fans, keeping the vinyl hobby alive for a new generation that never grew up with records and never really grew up with physical media to begin with. For Midnights, a total of 35 physical products, each with its own UPC code, were sold in the United States, according to Luminate, which supplies the data to Billboard's charts. Some of those were essentially duplicates, like 10 box sets containing a CD and a t-shirt, categorized by the size of the shirts. But the list of Midnight's products also includes CDs and vinyl LPs, with varying disc colors and cover art, plus additions with bonus tracks, autographed photos, and edited lyrics, along with a CD that was initially sold only at her live shows. Most ingeniously, a sequence of numbers on the back covers of the 4 standard Midnights LPs when arranged in a grid, formed the hours of a clock. For $49, Swift's site also sold shelves and a working timepiece to go with them. In its opening week, Midnight sold 1.1 million copies as a complete package, the first time any album had crossed the million mark in pure sales since Swift's own Reputation 5 years earlier. I mean, I'm not even a Taylor Swift fan. I think I've only listened to one album, but I respect it. Well, her and her team are just doing a great job marketing marketing to that dedicated fan base. So I'll be sure to link the rest of the article down below in the description so you can read it. I don't want to take up too much time going through the article bit by bit, but I think it does get to the heart of the overall point of what's going on in the vinyl hobby, which is the fact that you have a hobby that spans various generations. People that grew up with vinyl records and hold it dear still have their actual albums in their collection that they had when they were kids, teenagers, and young adults. And that's probably some of you, maybe perhaps many of you that are even watching this video. And then you have people that are more in that kind of middle generation, your Gen X, your millennials, and maybe older Gen Z that can span from either growing up with it because their parents kind of got into it, or sort of, just growing up with physical media. And so you grew up with cassettes and 8-track tapes and, movies on the shelf, VHS tapes, going to Blockbuster. And so collecting vinyl is sort of a extension of that really isn't unusual. And then you have the young people, the younger Gen Zs, the Generation Alpha, or whatever the younger ones are even called beyond that are less connected to physical products, less connected to perhaps collecting things in general, and like downloads and streaming and things like that. But of course, if you can get that generation excited in vinyl records, then you can really have a flourishing hobby that excites every single generation that's living today. And so if that is one of Taylor Swift's contributions to the vinyl record hobby, then I can't be mad at it. I wasn't really mad at it either way. It doesn't affect my life. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you drop the word Swifties in the comments section? Why don't we do that? Let's just go wild with it. Drop the word Swifties in the comment section if you made it to the end of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below. And you can also subscribe to my channel as well if you want to be alerted whenever a new video drops. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.